Hello everybody, this is part 2. I just spoke about this, oh shoot, I forgot to say my input. So, um, my input was, I guess I was too worried about making sure that there was a disclaimer that people need to look at their own jurisdiction and hire their own lawyer who really knows about their setup in that jurisdiction, and including if you're a medical care provider, insurance, contracts. My big one is people marking up the labs and the supplements, and there's quotas that people have. Oh, if you work at my clinic, you're gonna have to sell this many supplements. Every week you have to have a quota and all this stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's ridiculous. And they're gonna give you, if you sell something $100, they give you 1%. They give you $1. They give you $10. Like, the company got this wholesale rate for his medications, right? Okay, so I had listened to one of the channel. Again, I like to share people's channels, even if I lose interest in them later. Tommy Bite TV or something like that. I thought it used to be Tommy's Homestead, and there's two channels. It's confusing, and every time I say that, it's confusing, so it's hard for me to share because I had it set in my mind, and then I believe she just changed the name of the channel. So, in my listening to evening shows, I'm scared listening to some of these disaster stories at night, or these mysteries of people that are bad guys, and besides that, they have scary music in the videos and stuff. So I wanted to just say, I just wanted to listen to some of these folks that have their own homesteads, and they were talking about, did they give the name of the branch or the bank? This bank's closing, and people having their accounts frozen when they couldn't access their money. Something happened with Wells Fargo direct deposit. People weren't getting their money credited, and they were needing to pay rent and, have not bounce their check. It's hard. We should all be able to have a buffer. My issue with, I think if I didn't already get charges, I need to have $500 in my account, and they're going to charge me $10 a month if I don't. And they gave me 2 pay periods. One was really shady, the dates. They started a pay period this date, but then the pay period ended this date or something. Like, it looked like they kind of squeezed in a month instead of saying, hey, this cycle starts here, now you have 2 whole months. I think they might have squeezed it. So I might get a $10 charge. That was through Wells Fargo. I've always had like kind of a low volume, like maintain these automatic $25 into a certain account, savings account, keeps you from having a charge, all these different things. I'm tired of it, so I don't know what to do. I guess I'm going to close one of my savings accounts. Because if I don't, I'm going to have to move the money over and then do a qualifying. See if that counts as a qualifying, I'm just doing that for my son. I would take money. I don't even think it's $25 a month, is it? It's not that much in a year. It's only a few hundred. I had to take my money back because I was trying to use that as one of the waivers. But if people aren't going to be waiving it, I might as well just forget about it. Anyways, there's a lot of business that needs to be done. It is Friday. I'm overwhelmed. I had a lot of stuff for my clinic, paperwork for my insurance. I got an email this morning from the CAQH for providers that says that I have a document expiring on the 26th. So I'll just put a note in the phone and put it on repeat. And let's put it on for 11:30. Oh, I know when I got motivated. Okay. Let's put it on for 11:30. Let's repeat it. So let's say CAQH. It's my insurance NCMIC expiring. I think it's 26 or 28, something like that. So I got a lot of stuff that I have to do, and I was trying to move some money from CashApp, and they want to charge me $1.75, and I'm not like in the mood for that, and um, I'm not in the mood for every day until the 28th. It's gonna bother me. So remember, you can turn these off. I have this all or nothing attitude. So they're not gonna give me my money. I ordered it Thursday, and they're not gonna give it to me until Monday. That's way too many days. That's part of Thursday before midnight. Friday, we'll just count Friday, and then Saturday's a business day, then Monday, good grief, it's Saturday. Like, this is stupid, guys. I need to move that money into one of my other accounts I just opened before I lose the account. They do check your credit and stuff like that, and I don't want to mess up. Anyways, I might have to move some more money over, and I don't want to pay. I did that last week to pay my credit card. I did an immediate transfer out of something. It was only like $25. It was a 10% or something. It was like 15%. I think yesterday's would have been like 15% fee, or anyways, the other one I end up paying a percentage fee to have it moved right away. I hate that because it's my money going to myself, and they're going to hold on to my money. They're not giving me any interest to use my money. They're going to say, oh, you're allowed to use this bank without any fees, but you're using every penny I have to invest it into some sort of market that you make a profit off of, or else you wouldn't have this. You wouldn't be holding on to my money. You're not just tucking it in an envelope somewhere. Say, oh yeah, like, like a valet parking, or what you call it. I never went to a place where you take your hat and coat and they give you a ticket so that you can come back and get it on the way out. Like, this is not like I'm at an event and they're gonna give me my stuff back. Like a bowling alley, you trade your shoes for theirs and then swap them back. I mean, yeah, you have to pay for all that, but they're not just putting in a little cubby, is the point. I wanted to do the collapse. I wanted to go through my food, my bean sprouts. I think some of my beans that I was sprouting, I don't know. I think they got eaten by my partner, but at least they got eaten. It's like, I had some beans I was sprouting, and then he goes, oh, I think we got this from the food pantry. And he was like, no, the ones from the food pantry you threw away. They were in a Ziploc bag. You're like, can we throw this out? And I should have sprouted them, but that was before I ever sprouted bean sprouts. How do you make crackers? Light, flaky, like kind of wheat thinny, light crackers out of beans, out of mung beans. What's the other one? Lentil beans. That's what I want to find out today. Last video I said I was looking at Vitamix. They're really expensive. The bullet one is expensive. Was it Magic Bullet or whatever? What's the other one? The ones they have at Kohl's and Target. The Magic Bullet. What is the other one? Something mix. 100 something. 60 something regular what is it? Hamilton Beach. What's that other kind of blender? So I wanted a high speed blender, 500, minimum 1,000 watts. So I could do ice and seeds and nuts. It's out of my price range or something on Amazon. I don't know. There's a lot. I'm just trying to make my own food. I want it to be convenient, easy to clean up after. To make do with what I have, but some of the stuff I'm putting in these small little things I got from Kohl's for 2 for $20. They're supposed to be $20. They were like buy one get one free or something, buy one get one half off. And I had bought this stuff, and when we were living in the garage, we had no kitchen, so it was hard to even do anything. That had this little blender and this little food processor. I hadn't even used a food processor for so long until I got here, I think, and the cords were like this long here. There's no kitchen set up like a kitchen, so there's no countertops with a cord right there, or an outlet here, an outlet here, an outlet here. You go in a new kitchen, go in an old kitchen, at least you have one on each wall. And it's really sad because I'm down on the floor and I got this ledge, I'm banging my head. on the ceiling. So like, don't put your glasses on your head. You're scratched down with the appliances on the floor, trying to plug this in, and I got it in this thing in the old outlet. That's like cube thing. And I pulled out one, and that whole thing came unplugged because it's not taught when you have an old outlet from who knows when. It doesn't hold the stuff. Like, cords fall out. This one sparks when you use it. I'm like, I'm too scared to even put tape on that thing. I had plugged in a couple things, and every time I touched that, there were sparks coming out all over the place. And I wasn't even scared to unplug anything until I went out of town this time. I said, you know what, you're unplugging it and you're not using it again. So instead of being able to use this plug that's in a random spot on the wall, I'm like using a power cord connected to a cube, connected to this with everything else. I don't know. And then there's really old circuits in this thing that don't trip, I don't think. And so I'm pretty paranoid. Pretty paranoid. This video was going to have a purpose. I stated it in the last video, and now I don't know. So I'm going to go and grab this book. Guys, I was so paranoid in the past of copyright that I was scared to, like, show a book. I don't have a camera. I haven't received any donations. So I was going to do the collapse, and I wasn't going to get anything. I was like, I'm not going to drive. I didn't have gas in the vehicle that I used. It was on E, just above E. And we're in a rural area, so I don't want to be having to do one errand and then run out of gas out in the middle of nowhere. Cell phone don't work, all this stuff. Sacred medicine, sacred plant medicine, the wisdom and Native American herbalism. Stephen Herod Bonner, forward by Brooke, Medicine Eagle. Looks like I'm sticking out here between, page 10 and 11. I thought for sure it was going to be like page 40 something. Ecological influences of earth-centered spirituality. So I'm going to read through this book because when I use plant-based medicine and herbal medicine, and I have even the people get things from earth, the calcium carbonate or borax or different things, baking soda, stuff from sea salt, stuff from the water, stuff from sea salt left in the middle of the U.S. from when there was seawater covering all that. There's all these different things, right? Sea kelp, seaweed, all these things that are, I almost would say gentrified. It's like some white folks are coming in and they're building kelp farms and they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're like, this is the best thing for you and your land, and this and that's. Indigenous people were using these certain products, and I read about them before I went to medical school. I read about a lot of different products for different body health, teeth health, or skin health, and different things. And I'm overwhelmed because what I learned in my books, they attributed all of these plant-based to white people and German people, and Dr. Lust and Benedict Lust or Lust and all these different Westerners, and not occasionally there was things in botanical medicine class that say, well, the people in Africa use this kind of plant, the native people, so the Americas use this, but it's not. There was no books like this. The books that we had, the forefathers of naturopathic medicine, hydrotherapy, and all these things were from every guy. It was white men on the cover of that book. Okay, and I want to, just like the land that I'm leasing from the landlord or renting from all the landlords, want to honor this land It's not my land. My kids are part native, so it's part their land, but it's never been part their land because it was shared land until somebody put ownership on it. I'm a descendant of slaves, so I was brought here by white folks, and then white folks are mean, and black folks, once somebody gets somewhere, it's hard for them to, they're like, oh my god, I got this position, I can't be with you. There's one lady I don't like at all, and in this certain association, I say, oh, I went to class with that person. It's just for like a weekend class, but I'm like, she is all over the place. She is getting paid big bucks, and she was pretty much sell out. Like, I've shared this before, I love my suburban quiet life, this and that. It's like, oh, you want to work and be really big in the black community, but you're going to want to say, basically, that, haha, you guys made me enough money that I can live in the burbs amongst these quiet white folks or whatever. Like, and I don't care that they made the money to move, but it's interesting that they rub it in your face and say, you know, this is the life. Lucky me. Look at me. That's what Facebook is for. Come on, guys. I guess it's not why I'm not on there. I wanted to do some. I'm really mad that people are sending me texts. I would expect a place that doesn't have a receptionist to return a phone call. I just want to almost say I'm out of the office. I'll be in and out of the office for the next 2 weeks. Alright, what is it, family? So I just gotta do my work, and there's all these events that are happening right when my mind is really wanting to be active, and it's really, really, why is this jumping? Really, really disruptive. Let me turn off this solitaire game, because I swear that thing sucks. I had a dream that I was looking at my task manager. No, that was this. I feel like I'm being spied upon by this Obama tablet, and it has so many, 32 gigabytes or something. It comes 29% of the memories already being used. And I don't think just having Google and stuff on your account is, you know what I mean, going to do that. I want to see if I can put a telephone app on that, because I don't really want to put my Google account, and then I was going to get Google Play so that I can, could download a solitaire or something. But I'm tired of this mystic games where you just got the game, you paid for the game, and you got the game. Now you pay for stuff and it doesn't work. I've done that. And then it still has commercials, and it's outdated. And it's really hard to just pay for these programs anymore. Alright, let's look at my trade. I do not like these updates. Again, I'm not trying to fix something that's not broke. Oh, speaking of that, I did listen to my 12-step meeting. I consider my home group for about 2 hours, and I did there was some food that was supposed to be, it was expired, some meat that was expired on the 13th. Yesterday was the 17th. I guess that's 4 days. I stayed up and made it, and I cooked it for about, so it was like 10 minutes. I forgot to put the time. I was supposed to put a 40-minute timer, so I check it. So I had about 40 minutes, and then I did another 30-minute timer. It's an hour and 10 minutes, and then I think at that point I just took it out of the oven because I wasn't going to eat any meat, and my partner was not going to wake up to eat it, so I just put another like 30 or something minute, 40-minute timer to let it cool, and then I stuck it in the fridge on the hot mat, and all my food was falling all over. And oh, I meant to bring some watermelon into you all. When I click on tree, it just brings me back to here. So this is Driving me crazy. Let me stretch the whole screen. There we go. I was like hidden. So I'm gonna actually look at my actual tree and let you guys know if I see any changes. This is so depressing. Okay, so what does this add child? Right. Everything is really slow. Why? Alright, let's look at my dad's studies. Just because that's his dad's. Yeah, let's just look at this and see if it goes back any farther than 1 year, 1 generation. Okay. Let's look at Alexander. Born in 1948. There's nothing. Not a thing. And then there's a Taylor. 1849 to 1922. That goes back to someone born named Squire, married to Margaret. They were born in 1825 and 1927. And there's another set of parents. Born in 1828 and 1833. Jefferson died in 1914. I want to cry, guys. I'm so emotional. Female issues are off short. Right, let's go back to this Alexander. So there's nothing. And this would be my great-grandpa's dad. And here's 3 hints that should have 1887 date. Mother's name. This guy's name is Jesse. Is that his son? Alright, let's go to the next hint. These are the same folks here, it looks like. So they have Margaret, the wife's name, spelled 2 different ways. One with 1 T and one with 2. So that's always an issue. Okay, let's look at the... We need a real sabbatical. Okay, here's the certificate of death from Richmond. 11 a.m., June 18th, 1948. This is... Oh, it was blurry for a second. This is William. Died at home on Q Street. His wife was Gertrude. Somebody scribbled this and said, single, married, widowed, divorce. It said widowed, but then they circled divorce. They say he's colored. 55, that's young. Gardner. So all of my family, somebody mistyped, and then they went over it with the G, the first letter. There's a lot of different handwriting and different pens. Immediate cause of death, probable acute coronary dissection, or just... I can't read that really. And due to, it just has a doobity boop, and then it has a red 094. A physician underlined the primary cause to which death should be charged statistically. So, who the informant was, Alex. Oh shoot, they whited out. It says, if veteran name war. They whited out that part. What? Alright, I really want to know what that says. How can you white out the war? Who's this for? Anyways. I like, they're saying too many names. William. So the father was Alex and the mother was Margaret. They don't even put the city in the state. It's so cheap. Burial, Henrico County, 1948. This doesn't make any sense. Funeral director Robert C. Scott, Incorporated. Filed June 19th. They didn't even, 1948 by something. And signature William Gregg. I wonder if that's the coroner. 55. I'm gonna cry. I'm already emotional. Like female issues. And it's annoying as it affects my partner. I can't make any rhyme or reason to this, so let me connect this to the family tree. This is as far back. I'm trying to get a picture of the tree in my mind. So it's not letting me attach it because I don't think, let's see, this person's name, there's a lot of Williams. This person is not in the family tree, so I need to go back to the children and add William, which is right here. So why isn't it connecting it? So William is in my family tree, this William in particular, but when I want to link his death certificate to him, he doesn't pop up as a choice. So that's, looks like he was my great-grandpa's brother. Wow. There's the children, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's a Lizzie and an Elizabeth, so that's shady to me. 2 different dates. So that doesn't look right. And there's an Alejandria, that almost looks like a misspelling, because it's got it as a male, because there's also an Alexander, so that's not making sense. Very few records here. So this guy on his certificate that looks like it's no longer visible. Let's see if I can go back, because I cannot find him. He's in my family tree. Why isn't he popping up? So it says, or enter the ID number. So let's write it down. This is a lot of work, guys. I have a lot of other work to do. I don't like talking to doctors or therapists, as I feel like they ask me stupid questions. Do you have a schedule? Or it's like the lady at church. Do you know what the internet is? Have you heard of email? You have? Do you even have an email address? I'm like, dude, I've been in college for 9 years or whatever. I'm going to medical school. You think I'm going to be living in the United States in a metropolitan city without ever hearing of email? I had my first email address in 1994, okay? And I was actually behind because I lived in a rural area. I showed up at school and I said, you know, there's this thing called the internet. You have to sign up. You have to do homework on it. And I'm like, my computer, my Windows machine was like, I called my dad and like, they're telling me there's this thing called the internet. And I already had gotten a letter magazine as a college student, and it had a bunch of URLs. They're like, go to the World Wide Web. And I'm sitting there on my computer typing this thing, and it's like not working. Because I didn't connect the fact that I need to connect my computer to the telephone or to Ethernet cable. So we had the guy who always fixed my computers. My dad takes the computer for a couple days, asks his buddy, put an Ethernet port in it, get to my dorm, plug that into the Ethernet. Oh, I have the internet in my dorm room, 1994. Do my homework, have a printer, all these different things. I was so happy. Except for people would go into my room and use it, which made me not so happy. So let's just put in here that he's this number, since it's not showing up, E dash. This is so what I don't want to do on video. It's time consuming. Okay. There's 2 different birth dates on this. We got a 93 or 1893, and we got a 1885. So you got a birth here that says April on it. So you know what? This is super difficult for me. Let's just add the other event, and then it says replace the death, but it doesn't even have it as the same birth dates. Wait, it says 1948. So I say great uncle, or yeah, grandpa, great grandpa, grandpa, great grandpa. And then it has the wife as Gertrude. See, now that it shut off that piece of paper, so now I'm not able to see that. So that's really annoying. Okay, let's go. Let's get rid of this, and let's do another one on camera. This is so overwhelming because there's so little information and so much error. My partner is mainly almost 100% English. There's some other races in there a little bit, but I can't. You know what happened? I can't access the oh god, my window got shoved up, but I couldn't reach the top and pull it back down. Oh my god, I almost had to X out of all that. My partner has a lot of detailed information, the men and the women, and it literally goes back to God. And before it gets to God, it has Noah's Ark. It has thousands of years of names pretty much in every spot. First and last names, unless they're royalty, with dates, with links, with pictures of stuff, like all kinds of documents. There's coins of like these royalty that they literally have like a coin with their profile on it. And he's able to go and search and see these people on Wikipedia. And I'm like, I can't even get to slavery. And it's like, are they denying the fact that we were held as slaves and just like omitting this because there was records kept? If you watch that PBS show with the man, I forget what you call it, doing the genealogy, they show the records. Some of them are in the books where the people have to come out with the gloves. Or at least I would be wearing white gloves if I had to go in there and getting the archives, like physical records from the olden days and from the boats and all that. But I guess if I had to go somewhere like that, I'd have to get a picture or a microfiche, online microfiche copy, because I don't see in my mind where I can go to get that done, to go and show up with a notepad and a computer and this site so I can look stuff up. Okay, so I'm going back to my grandfather, my mother's side, and it's got grandpa, okay, it's got his parents, okay, it's got their parents, okay, we'll keep that first last name to keep it simple. So that kind of last track, that's great, and that one goes back, but then it stops at a guy named Kemper. They don't have any information about this guy. There's two sources. I just want to cry. This is like hogwash to me. It's trash. It's more information than I ever had. I didn't even think to get a copy of the family tree that my relatives gave me. I forgot it somewhere. Alright, so this guy named Kemper. So I think this is the son. And I tried looking everywhere for this other guy, the son of this Kemper Thornton. The son of Thornton is back. And if I look up Thornton, I thought I saw slave somewhere. But I think that was for one of the females. I'm trying to click on the document. I guess that's not a document. Let's see. Let me go back to the tree. I was trying to keep a notebook of just this stuff, so every time I try to piece together something, what's hard is not being able to have the whole tree open in this window, so you could say that person, that person, that person with the children, and then click on an individual information, say this person, or even like a shrunken part of the pedigree, this person is this person's spouse, and this is their parents, and then be able to, on another window, click on the an information draft card or whatever, which I'm really mad that there's the war that this other fellow was in was whited out. So somebody did that. It wasn't like white out or someone scribbling it. It's that whoever took a picture or microfiche, they put a digital white rectangle on it. So it was like a Photoshop kind of thing. It wasn't even like a sticky note that someone stuck over it. So there's something suspicious about that. So let's go back to Jane. Let's go back to Jane. Okay. Jane has some stuff going on where there's a Jane in a household on a census where there's 2 or 3 houses, and like this one says household colored, household colored, household white. Okay, and I'm thinking that it's one property with different little plots or different doors to knock on. And I swore I saw a Jane with a different last name that wasn't Isom. That was a servant, but also seeing this as one of the many children. And in one of the other households was someone else with her one of her last names. So it's like, was there sleeves? There's not sleeves in this. And it wasn't date 1937. What? Hold on. I wonder if this person was a slave in these white people's houses and end up marrying somebody, or I think there's some with Thornton where there was somebody born as a child to a woman that didn't have the husband, or the child had the name of someone that potentially was either a slaveholder or it wasn't far enough back supposedly, or a descendant of a slaveholder that was black. It's like a mix. Anyways, this is really, again, I need to be able to see each thing with my notebook. Now that I've clicked on this person and I clicked detailed information, I don't see any birth dates. I can recommend some improvements, except this is pretty good. These are pretty good records because it allows you to make edits. So this person is an entry for Henry, Ohio deaths. Here we go. Alright, so it's all crumpled. So mother's name of this guy named Henry. But what happened to the actual lady? So the one record I think is this, her son's death certificate. Colored laborer. But I was looking for Jane. I was just looking for her birth date. It's still overwhelming, so I'm going to attach this. Let's see if it lets me attach it. So the one good thing about this site, there seems to be some more data popping up. I assume it's the AI. I'm going to see if I can find Jane's birth date. That's really bothering me because that's what I thought I did in the first place. It's like all I see is information about when somebody noted some information about her and not. Okay, so there is no dates. So there's no mother and father, and there's no dates for this lady. And I swore I saw somewhere else on the census form that she was the same name, first name, different last name. Might never know. Let's look her up. This is randomly. Jane Isom. I don't even have the city. If I could get that other last name, I feel like this could be a typo. This Isom isn't any kind of last name that I've ever heard of in my life. So there are a few Isoms. So someone has it as Isom or Isom, so it's hard to read. There's a Jane. Here's one, birthplace. 1854, there's another one. It's got a bunch of children. It's not the same person. I don't think. That looks like a white person. The names, I don't know why. I have this vibe that person had a way easier life. So there's a lot of Jane Isom's. I wasn't expecting that to be a popular name. Where does the last name Isom come from? English, Essex, Northern, Northamptonshire, Isle, river name Isle of Celtic origin, Old English Ham, Homestead. It's an English name. Well, I've got nowhere fast with that, so no new information. Can't see all the documents that I could see before that I had stumbled on. If I go to the part that allows me to attach certain people or documents to their account, then it shows like one, and the other usually has two different of these numbers, of these identification numbers. So there could be a situation where it looks like say it was N versus N, where somebody could have put the wrong record, or maybe they found a gravestone or some other record. And there's an opportunity to delete a record and make that into one record, which is pretty scary because a lot of the people in the Church of Latter-day Saints are volunteering. They want anyone to volunteer. In the original time, they did do handwritten or like inside their library, which you could go into, and there was some of this stuff sold to 23andMe. Is it 23andMe? Ancestry. I think it was Ancestry. Sorry, I don't want to say the wrong thing. So if you have the Ancestry, shows it out in association, but I guess they sold all these records, and then they end up attaching the records to the actual DNA. So it's a little bit of a sellout, considering they made a lot of money, and they make money and donations and volunteers doing the work. And so if someone's taking a picture of a gravestone, and they read it wrong, and they type it in wrong, or then they save it, it's just some random person. It's not like my, fifth cousin saying, oh, I got an old family Bible that has the names. That could be added, I guess, but it's a start. It's way more information than I had before. It's super frustrating. My partner's is the complete opposite way of frustrating because it's so much information. He feels like it could take decades to just plow through all of it. And I feel like because of where he's placed in his family tree, he doesn't really have a lot. Like, he'd go outside and be like, oh, there's my cousin, there's my cousin, there's my cousin, there's my dad's cousin, and their nephews and nieces. Like, I feel like we're both pretty isolated in our own personal, so-called, what used to be close families, where people actually would invite other people to family reunions, and you'd get together and meet all the kids and nieces and nephews and second cousins and all that. For me and my kids and my partner, were not really invited. And it's pretty sad because I'm basing my family knowledge on a group of folks that volunteered to do it, that took their personal time to sit down and do the best they can with what they have. And I'm grateful for that because I want to know more, and I want a document that shows that I was a descendant of slaves. And I'll probably do some work right now and get ready to do some phone calls and get my tea. It's been sitting out. It's going to be cold by now. I'm going to reheat my water and then go ahead. And I didn't do laundry or anything. I'm just beat. I'm tired. Female issues have been lasting like 2 weeks, and I'm anemic, and I forgot to buy kale. I bought food yesterday, so going back to like the collapse series. So I watched one of these preparedness and homesteader people, and staying on top of the news and what's going on and how to be prepared for these sudden changes, such as bank closures or banks holding on to your money, even errors, glitches, um, digital pirate people, ransomware, all this stuff, data breaches, all these different things. It's like sci-fi, but I want to be out, with chickens, putting chicken poop in a garden, it wouldn't be like old-fashioned where you could do something that doesn't require any technology, very little, like, non-digital technology at least. It's all good. Farms are so intricate. Nowadays it's big modern farms, but I mean, even testing the pH of the soil with the little machines that may look like, yeah, you can use test strips too, and all that color change stuff. But I end up caving in and wanting to go to the store to get olive oil and bananas and lemons, and I end up an ice tray. I end up getting $200, a big bag of rice, a big bag of sugar for my partner, and a bunch of produce, nuts, and olive oil, overpriced olive oil for me, and um, it won't last that long because most of it's produce unless I really can do some zucchini chips or zucchini fries, get those in the dehydrator, get them dehydrated, stick them in a jar with the oxygen absorber, and put that on a shelf, or stick it in a Mylar bag, something like that. Even a plain old Ziploc bag. So when my other dehydrator broke, everything ended up in a bag with the oxygen absorber. Because that stuff, it's humid here, that stuff will rehydrate and not be crispy. And it might be a piece of vegetable that grows back to the size of a zucchini, but it has the potential to get moldy and gross, and bugs kick in into it. So, fingers crossed that I can figure out what to do. I've got 2 things of sprouts going. It took a while to get. I got the jar from Walmart, and I had the top from somewhere else, and I couldn't find either of them. And I had the bottom of the jar, but couldn't find the top. So finally, my partner knew where the lid to my sprouter was. So between juicing, growing herbs in the windowsill, I'm going to start some wheatgrass. I don't know if I should sprout it. I'll probably sprout it and then stick it in the dirt, or I might just stick it in the dirt. Growing the sweet potatoes on accident, growing the celery on accident, and then seeing what other seeds I have that I think maybe I could grow, because I got a huge bag of carrots too that hopefully I can juice, and I noticed my juicer did not, some of the carrots were still whole, and it just didn't get clamped down, and I wasted it because I didn't clean that part till the next day. I wasted a lot of pulp that I made a veggie burger out of. So there's a lot of room for improvement. When someone else, like my partner, says that, I get offended. But when I say it to myself, I have to look at the truth and recognize that he sees me most of the day, like 24 hours of the day, and I'm pretty sad that I looked this up on Reddit, because after that, watching those doctors with these successful clinics, and they're dressed nice, their hair and nails are done, their house is nice and big, they have everything they need, they're paying their employees, they have 401ks, insurance, health insurance for their employees, building maintenance, all that, reception, and hiring nurses to do blood draws, medical assistants. I want to cry because I'm not where I need to be, and I got online and said, what do you do when you're not doing well? I don't even know. Someone on Reddit or something was talking about their experiences, feeling so behind. So hang in there. I started this channel because I was behind myself, redoing pre-med and being a divorced mother of two small children who got no help from the ex-husband, 0 help, and not even knowing how to afford and how to deal with graduate medical school, and wanting to not do that until my kids were over 18. I was going to wait until like now to be in school because I needed to work. All the case managers say you need to work, which I did do, but I worked and I went to school full time, but it was hard to get a full-time job as a mom with no babysitter, no ride. Your work is the same time, or messing up your schedule, your job. There's no bus to pick up my kids, so it was me picking up, dropping them off, paying for daycare. If your work gets out at 5 and your daycare closes at 6, and you could do it, but I used to work on the east side, and their school was on the west side, their daycare, and it was, honestly, a whole other story, like traffic jam in Portland, going across the bridges. It's not even just regular traffic, it's like you got a bottleneck because you have bridges to cross to get across the river. You can't just take a bunch of different back roads. That's all you got, unless you have a helicopter. So I made this channel because I didn't see other people that were struggling. I saw women, mostly married women that are and or partnered, that were having babies while they were in school, and everyone volunteered to help take care of their baby. Their grandparents of the baby were flying in to take care of the mother and the baby, and I never had any of that, not even once when my kids were born. And it's very depressing because it takes a toll. Today I hope to find my fairy lights. I hope they didn't get accidentally thrown away. When I see the Sierra, what's her name, Sierra Ann or something, where she has those lights in the background, I really love the way they look on video. And I'm going to do self-care because that's what my counselor asked me about. I'm supposed to be doing art, self-care, and billing for my clinic. So today I'm going to do those things, and if all I do is eat a banana and figure out if I can make a raw graham cracker out of something. I'm craving like s'mores and stuff, so